We did. We did.
We had
Some
zero
discussion.
agenda.
We were done by 9:30.
We had some discussion.
Yeah.
I think I should have just come up to our meeting. That's where I
No,
was.
we could do that.
Yeah, you can come to anyone.
Okay, I think it's time.
Oh,
Okay, folks, it's 10:30, so we'll go ahead and get the meeting started. Don't forget to silence your gadgets and such. If you have anything to give to Mr. Curran, the assembled multitudes may do so by handing it to him directly. We'll begin with the invocation by Mamie, and Alex is going to do the pledge. Please join us if you wish.
The prophets asked, the disciples asked, how do we pray? And I would ask if you would like to join with me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you both. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Bell. Curran.
Here.
Freeling. Present. Harrison.
Here.
Hinkleman.
Here.
Majerick. Ott.
here.
Pittsburgh. Ballraff.
Here.
Werfel. Here. Yarborough.
Present.
Elliott.
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have 10 present, 2 absent.
Thank you. Minutes from last week. Any changes? Moved by
I
Majerick.
would
Is there
support.
supported by Freeling. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk.
Yes, you received 4 communications, an email from Ashley Butler, Cornerstone Alliance, regarding the approval of an industrial facilities tax exemption for Vickers Engineer to build a 14,900 square foot building in Weesaw Township, received on August 23rd. An email from Ashley Butler, Cornerstone Alliance, regarding the Women's Business Center at Cornerstone Alliance celebrating its 10-year anniversary, received on August 25th. A resolution from Tuscola County Board of Commissioners opposing Senate Bill 299, Senate Bill 300, House Bill 4479, and House Bill 4480 regarding changes to the septic provisions of the Michigan Public Health Code, received on August 31st. And the last one, Berrien County MSU Extension, an email on the Michigan State University Extension's upcoming events in Berrien County, received on August 31st. That's all.
Very good, thank you. We don't have any added resolutions today, just the consent calendar. Now is the time if someone wants to talk about agenda items. A few minutes to do so. Just agenda items right now. Okay, there being no public comments, we'll move forward with the consent calendar. No one's asked to pull anything. Is there a motion to approve as submitted?
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion.
Moved by Curran, is there support? Supported by Freeling. Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Curran,
Yes.
Freeling. Yes. Harrison,
Yes.
Hinkleman.
Yes.
Majerick.
Yes.
Ott.
Yes.
Ballraff.
Yes.
Werfel.
Yes.
Yarborough.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, you have 10 yeas.
thank you. We'll move to committee reports. Madam Chair of Finance.
Thank you. We met this morning with our chair, and our administrator is at home. Then our Community Development Director, Dan Fetty, came in, and there will be 2 resolutions presented to you next week for approval. One is Berrien Bus Plan approval. It's a basic resolution that's used saying that there will be no discrimination in riders or companies that use Berrien Bus. We do that each year, that resolution, we renew it. And then the next resolution will be setting the bus fares. It's been almost 10 years since we had an increase, and there are a number of increases. When you see that resolution, do they have it, Chet? And that,
They do not have it yet. That will come next
Yeah.
week.
the resolution will come, and I can go over them. Right now, the basic fare per person is $5. It's going to go to $6. If you're a senior citizen or handicapped or disabled, it's half that amount. It is now $2.50. It will go to $3. And then there are changes on the rates for agencies and weekly rates. So that's being presented next week for your approval. Then we had a meeting with our treasurer, Shelley White, regarding drains. And then committee business, we have 2 waiver requests. They're both from the road department, and one was to survey aggregate piles for fiscal inventory. That is being, the vendor will be Whiteman. And then carbide 8-foot wing cutting edge blade, and they're the best ones and last longer than any other. And when I saw it, it said vendor name Winter, and I thought the blades were just because it was winter, but the company's name is Winter. So those are the 2 waivers that we concurred that it should happen. Then I just told you about the resolutions, and we approved our minutes from August 24th. Thank you. Anything else?
Questions for finance? All right, hearing none, Mr. Chair of Personnel and Human Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We also met this morning. We will have 5 resolutions for you next week. The first is a complement change in the Sheriff's Department and the Public Defender Office. I think that was also reviewed by administration. We'll have 2 resolutions dealing with surveying. One is the remonumentation firms as well as the surveyors being proposed for approval. We'll have a resolution regarding fundraising for the Silver Beach Playground match. If you remember, that's a Spark grant. And then we also will have a resolution regarding funding from the state of Michigan for the health department for water testing. This is basically a continuation of prior relationship with the state. A little different approach this time, rather than being on a reimbursement approach. The state's going to forward the money to us front end. And so they've got, the total is about $135,000 for water testing in the 23-24 fiscal year. We then had a presentation from Rick Compton and Jen Poole from Riverwood, talking about the role that they play in contracting for services with providers throughout not just Berrien County, but also for those located out of the area. So that concludes our meeting.
Ma'am, question?
Just a comment for our administrator. Since that's a change in the way that the funding is happening for water testing, can we make certain that Doug and staff for financial services aware that that is a change and it's not reimbursement, but it's front end funding?
Yeah, what I'll do is ask Guy to put together just a brief update, and then we can follow up with a quick face-to-face.
Good thought. And that concludes my report.
Okay, Mr. Chair of Admin.
Thank you, Matt. The master schedule showed us as having a night meeting today, so for some reason, we didn't end up with anything on our agenda. there was one thing slid in at the last minute, but we spent the bulk of our time talking about Michigan football, the Detroit
That was a
Tigers.
short discussion.
Michigan, UP, and artificial turf for high school football fields. So we had quite a good discussion on those topics. But Chuck Height did come in and talk to us about the resolution that's brought forward by PHS on the sheriff's deputy position. And then Brian via Zoom, I called him on the phone, asked if he had anything for us. And I asked him about the Buchanan building, when we would be able to occupy the building. And he said realistically should be October 1st. They're just still cleaning up some things on the property title and whatnot. But October 1st should be a realistic date for us to start occupying the building. And that's our report.
Very good. Questions for admin? Okay, let's move to individual commissioner reports. We'll go clockwise. John.
No report, except for tomorrow's my 44th wedding anniversary. So
Wow.
Congratulations.
that's beautiful. That's all I have.
I have no report.
I attended the meeting of the Human Services Council. I had a meeting with Shelley White and Dan Fetty regarding housing, and then also yesterday attended the Board of Health meeting.
No report.
No report.
Well, I did attend a meeting with Jim and Dave for 911.
Last week.
Yeah.
We saved it for Julie.
Yeah. I was thinking you guys would cover that, so I don't really have anything to say about it. And then also had actually what turned out to be our final opioid meeting. Guy is going to be working out that presentation, so we should be seeing that as a COW in the very near future. But that committee has wrapped up, that task force.
I attended another life-changing sewer appeals board meeting with Thaddeus. Really nothing to report on that, even though it's a life-changing meeting. I did, though, last week attend a town hall with Joey Andrews, where he discussed the new draft of the short-term rental bill, where I voiced my opinions on the increasing the tax revenue, especially now, since it's the way the economy is, and forcing municipalities to have to accept short-term rentals. So for example, Bridgman doesn't want them. This bill would force them to have that, the way the bill is written right now. So other than that, that was it.
Oh, you're fine. I too attended opioid task force, but Julie covered it. We'll have the final draft to the board here shortly. And then the only thing I wanted to remind everyone is there's a BC bit broadband meeting this afternoon after this meeting.
Ma'am,
No, I didn't go anywhere.
okay.
I didn't listen to anything.
Brian, do you have a report to make from home?
Yeah, I'd just like to compliment Commissioner Ott. That was a very good report and well done, sir.
I
That's
concur.
all I
In
got.
fact, I was hoping that at some point you'll talk about the differences between a mound system and a lagoon system. And, okay, so, because I know you're fluent in all that now. So,
What's kind of complicated, I wasn't sure everyone would understand.
yeah, it'll just kind of flow. So, okay, general public comments. Anyone wish to be heard? Under 2 minutes, name and town, name and town. Yes, sir.
Dr. Hager Township. No, that sound system you got sucks. I couldn't understand, I didn't, you guys were laughing at something, I wonder what you were laughing at. You ought to work on that. That's one of the reasons why people don't come down here. They can't hear, women raise their hand every time I don't hear a word that comes out of your mouth. This is supposed to be a public meeting. And the reason you guys don't talk loud enough is because of the seating arrangement. Of course, you don't want to change it. You want to rub elbows with everybody else. So when you're talking to your neighbor, right? I'm sitting over here, and there's somebody sitting back there, they can't hear you. What do you want me to do? Raise my hand every time I can't hear you? We have a right to hear what you have to say. You're spending our money, right? How does it feel to be spending our money? No wonder your politicians are usually considered scum of the earth. That along with the lawyers. There were half the world lawyers are right here in the US. About half of those people are in Washington. Because that's where the money is, right? So I suggest you work on that. I know you tried to do something with it a couple of years ago. That's not good enough. You have to do something with seating arrangements. Get out of this room. This is a kindergarten room. Showed it a couple times before already, but you don't want to do anything. You sit with your neighbor, or somebody asks you a question, you're talking to him, right? You ask this question and he's gonna answer it. And I'm sitting over there and I can't hear you, or somebody back there, or the guy up there, right there, I couldn't hear what he was saying. Why not? What's the big deal? You don't want us to hear what's going on. That's one of the reasons you're gonna have these things you publish once a month, like this agenda that you got here. That should be put in a newsletter every month. So when you have a meeting, the people know, well, they're talking about this or that, I'm gonna attend that meeting. You don't want us here. Then you give us 2 minutes to yak, right? Or talk. And that buzzer's about ready to go off and he's gonna jump down my throat.
2 minutes, sir.
right?
Thank you, Mr. Peltzer.
I didn't hear it go off.
It did. Anyone else wish to be heard?
I didn't hear it.
Matt, can I just add something? I
Sure.
forgot to put this on announcements. The Ride to Remember is on Sunday. That's for the Red Cross. They do it every year around September 11th. Just swallowed water, sorry. And it's a kick stands up at noon, and it's a really cool thing if you've never seen it leave the courthouse. But admin approved for them to use the courthouse to start that, and it's usually a couple speeches and stuff like that. So it's a really nice event.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? Okay, done with public comments then. Other business? Anyone? Announcements and reminders. There's nothing here on the back of the agenda. Brian, did you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay.